much for joining me today. I'm very excited to be part of the Simon Says Stamp New Beginnings release blog hop. Today I want to feature an easy stamp layering card set that I created using the Friends of Life stamp set that's part of the New Beginnings release. These cards are also one-layer cards for the most part, so they're really easy to mail, which is perfect for sending cards out to friends. So here's a look at the stamp set that I'm going to be working with. This is the Friends of Life set, and as a side note, I actually designed this for Simon Says Stamp along with the Somebody Special stamp set. That one is also included in the New Beginnings release. So to start off with, I'm going to start by stamping the first layer of these flowers onto my card. I'm going to be creating backgrounds for my cards, so I want to go ahead and fill in some of the larger images first. That'll help as I build this background. It'll allow me to fill in the smaller images as I go along. So for this first layer, I was using lavender. Now I'm going to bring in the second layer. Now I'm going to go ahead and line this up onto the flower that I've had already stamped, and I'm going to line it up by using the center of the flower. That center lines up perfectly with the center on the first layer. So the second layer and the first layer line up perfectly with that center. I'm using some Ulta Nude dye ink to go ahead and stamp the second layer. And while it looks a little harsh right now, it will soften and blend into the first layer perfectly. I'm also going to fill in the centers of the flowers using that little circle stamp. I used some duckling ink for that first layer, and then there's also a second piece that I can go ahead and stamp, which is a little shadow, and I'm going to stamp that along the right-hand side of the flower using some catkin ink. This is a kind of a yellowy brown ink, but I thought it works perfect for a shadow because it's subtle yet still visible and allows the flower center to have a little bit of dimension. There's also a third layer for this stamp, and that's a really tiny centerpiece that's going to go right into the center of the flower. I stamped this with some intense black dye ink from Simon Says Stamp, and then I'll go ahead and move on to filling in some of the other larger images onto this card. Now these flowers are forget-me-nots, so I chose purple to go ahead and stamp the largest ones, but I wanted to go ahead and use pink for the smaller flowers. Forget-me-nots are usually a blue or a purple, but I thought I'd go ahead and take a little bit of artistic license and stamp it in some pink instead. I think the artistic twist makes it just a little bit more fun. And these flowers are drawn in an artistic style anyway, so adding some different colors besides the normal purples and blues really lends well to the actual design of the stamp set. I stamped the leaf with some jelly bean ink, and now I'm going to go ahead and take some Ulta Nude cotton candy to stamp that second flower. For the second layer, I used a bit of Teeny Bikini, and again, I used the center portion of the flower for both the second and the first layer to go ahead and help me line these up perfectly. Once I went ahead and stamped all the pink flowers the same way I did with the purples, I'm taking some of the smaller leaf images and stamping those in between certain areas of the card. Then I took a couple of the little dot images and used both the duckling and a bit of mint ink from Simon Says Stamp to go ahead and stamp those all around the little open areas in between all the flowers and leaves. This fills in the card really nicely. It's nice and subtle, so it doesn't have a distracting feel to it, and it allows the flowers and the leaves to take center stage on this card. Now I want to work on my sentiments. So for the sentiments, I'm going to use this new hand-lettered encouragement stamp set, which is designed by Christina Werner. She did a great job with these sentiments. I went ahead and used some clear ink from Simon Says Stamp to go ahead and stamp these down onto some white cardstock. Once I've stamped them down with the white cardstock, I'm going to go ahead and use some Hero Arts Platinum embossing powder so that way I can go ahead and heat emboss these sentiments. I stamped a variety of different sentiments from that hand-lettered encouragement set, and I stamped them all with the same clear embossing ink and heat embossed them with the same platinum embossing powder. Once I went ahead and heat set those, I took my fine tip scissors from Cutter Bee and went ahead and cut out these sentiments so that way I can go ahead and pop them up off my card. If you want to skip adding the dimension with the popped up sentiment, you can go ahead and heat emboss these directly onto the card bases. I instead wanted to go ahead and use some foam tape and pop these up off of the card. I put them all in the bottom right hand corner, and I thought that really just balanced off the card nicely. Finally, I want to add some embellishments, so I'm using some of the new Pretty Pink Posh sparkling clear confetti sequins. These confetti sequins are beautiful. They're almost like the original clear sequins from Pretty Pink Posh, but these don't have the center holes, and I think that's really fun. So I went ahead and scattered a few of these all around each of my cards. So after finishing all the cards, I wanted to go ahead and create some matching envelopes. So I'm taking some A2 sized envelopes, and I'm using a bit of Post-it tape to go ahead and mask off the area outside of the front flap because I want to put the flower design that I created for the background onto my envelope, but only on the front flap. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp all those flowers and leaves just like I did for the cards, but this time I'm going to go ahead and stamp it onto the envelope flap. So this is the exact same process that I used for creating my cards, and these envelopes are going to match my cards perfectly. I think this is really fun to be able to dress up your envelopes to have them coordinate with your cards. It just makes them feel a little bit more special. Once I finished my stamping, I went ahead and removed the Post-it tape to go ahead and reveal my beautifully masked off area that's just on the front flap of this envelope. Now you'll notice I did have a little bit of ink bleed through the Post-it tape there along the top corner of the envelope, but that didn't bother me, so I just left it like that. But you can see here how well they match with the cards themselves. I just think this is a really fun card design, very quick and easy, but also very beautiful. And I think these would be sure to brighten anyone's day. So I hope this has inspired you to use some of the new products from the New Beginnings release from Simon Says Stamp. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up, and you can subscribe to my channel for more inspiration. If you enjoyed this video, here are a couple more that you might find interesting featuring Simon Says Stamp exclusive products. Thanks so much for watching this video. Be sure to head on over to my blog for more information on this release and blog hop, as well as a giveaway. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again soon. Bye!